Hello again everyone and welcome back. This is Craig Peters here from Soundiron, and in today's walkthrough we're going to be checking out our newest upgrade for Iron Pack 7 Soprano. This library features the operatic soprano voice of Nicole Deshane, who has a very precise and delicate style and an exquisite tone, and you've heard her voice in other libraries like Voice of Rapture, the Soprano, as well as the Voices of Rapture collection. So now let's go ahead and dive in and start checking out some of the sounds and features within the newly upgraded Iron Pack 7 Soprano. So for this new update of Iron Pack 7 Soprano, we've remastered the samples and placed them into our flexible modular engine to give you way more possibilities than ever before. And since this features the voice of Nicole Deshane from our Voice of Rapture, the Soprano library, these samples are really pristine. She has a really great voice, and I think that this update really helps make this library shine, especially for the Iron Pack series, to really give you an idea of how these samples sound in a very affordable way. So before we dive in and start checking out some of the different sample content, I want to give you a little bit more of a rundown of the user interface if you're not familiar with it. So you have these sound shaping controls down here. You have volume, attack, offset, release with a drop down option for normal and pad. You also have this vibrato depth and rate, so you can experiment with that. And then for pan, you have pan and width, so you have a couple different options there. And then you also have some different pitch controls as well. And then right above here, you have the advanced tab with some LFO, filter, and an arpeggiator. So you can take some of these different sounds, put some LFO on them, some different filtering if you want to get that kind of effect, as well as an arpeggiator if you want to use that as well. And then on this tab, for the advanced tab, you have this option, which is showing all of these features. But then if you click right here, you have the legato. And this will introduce a pseudo legato, so you can create a little bit more flowing melodic lines with this voice. And all you have to do is just turn this on, and then you can click and drag to get the different speeds of the legato. And then you also have a portamento option as well. So you can see I have the volume knob mapped to my mod wheel just to give it a little bit more expressiveness. And if you want to take this voice and put it in a little bit more of a symphonic scenario by putting it into a bigger reverb, you can go over here to the effects rack. We have it in a room right now, but let's try the cathedral and see how this sounds. And then you also have some other effects as well. If we click one of these random empty slots, you have an amplifier, cabinet, chorus, compressor, some delay. If you want to put a little delay on this, which is always nice, especially when you want to have that big ethereal sound. So now I want to play for you some of the phrases that we've included in this library. So let's have a listen to some of these. Right now it's set to tempo sync and normal. So let's check these out. So that was with the normal setting. So we also have double and half. Let's check out half. So you can hear it really stretches it out and elongates it. Or there's double. So one of the other things that you can do is you can use this chromatic spread button, and this allows you to take a single phrase and map it across the entire key range. So we're going to click this. Let's just select a random phrase, and you'll see that now it fills up the entire keyboard. So you can play this phrase higher, lower, in the middle range. So let's see how it sounds played a little bit lower. So it's really cool being able to take these phrases and play them in this way. You can get some really unique and interesting results from this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this chromatic spread button off. Now let's have a listen to some of the different ambient content for this library. So when you have ambiences selected from this dropdown, you'll see the different types of sound design content that we've provided for this library. So let's have a listen to some of these now. And then if you want to play around with the attack, you can increase this to get a little bit more of a smoother fade in for some of these different ambiences. So the last feature I want to show you before we start checking out some of the custom effects presets is this X fade right here. And this is really cool because you can blend between different layers, any of the 4 layers that you choose. So when you select each layer, you'll see down here you have the X fade assigned. This is where you're going to be doing all your assigning for the X fade. So let's blend a couple ambiences together. So I'm going to select Ambisynth 1. I'm going to set this to layer A, select Ambisynth 2. Let's turn this on. And we're going to set this to layer B. And then I'm going to learn my mod wheel to the X fade. And this is going to allow me to blend between the different layers. So if we play a single note on A, you get your first ambience. You start bringing in that second ambience. And this is really great for getting some different evolving textural pads, especially if you're doing any kind of scoring or video game work and you want to really have some ambient content to really fit the vibe and fit the atmosphere. All right, so now let's go ahead and have a listen to some of the different custom effects presets that we've created for this library. There's 20 to choose from, and all of these evoke a different feeling and emotion or a different sort of style. So let's have a listen to some of these. And whenever you see MW in the name, make sure to play around with the mod wheel because it's probably using the X fade as well as some other effects as well. So let's have a listen to this. And you can see with this preset called Bond of Choir, it's got the extend range enabled. So if you have this turned off, you're just going to see the recorded sample range. But if you enable this, it'll stretch it below and above so you can get the full range. then you can also take any of these custom effects presets and modify them. So if you want to go into the effects rack, add some other effects, or play around with these, change them, switch them out, you can do that. So you can go ahead and play around with some reverb. So we can go and play around with some delay. We can change this a little bit. I'm gonna go back and change the reverb. Play around with the size. Alright, so that about wraps up this walkthrough, and if you'd like to learn more about this library or check out Voice of Rapture, the Soprano, or Voices of Rapture collection, make sure to go to soundiron.com. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to stay up to date on future videos like these, and until next time, we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.